December 21, 1888, Reading Eagle, Reading, Pennsylvania. Trimming a Christmas tree. A few timely pointers on the art of decorating. A pleasing effect is produced by brushing the prickly foliage of the tree here and there with mucilage, and then sprinkling common salt upon it. Among the cheap, homemade ornaments to hang upon the tree may be enumerated empty eggshells adorned with decalcomanic pictures, walnuts wrapped in tinfoil or gold paper, pine cones varnished, then bronzed or sprinkled with salt, cranberries or popcorn strung on twine, gold paper chains made by pasting one tiny ring within the other, colored tissue paper, and etc. The tissue paper is cut into long strips about 4 inches wide, closely cut across, but not entirely across. It is then slightly dampened and held over a hot stove when it curls up, and looks well when thrown here and there across the tree. It does not require much skill to fashion balloons, gondolas, bird cages, coaches, etc., out of stiff paper, and afterward covering it with gilt or silver paper. Figures cut from advertising chromos or colored fashion plates can be fashioned to the balloons, gondolas, etc., and really look very pretty. The same skill can adorn the base of the tree in landscape style, with tiny picket fences, rustic bridges, an old mill, etc., using moss for meadow, red sand for roadway, white or silver sand for paths, twigs of cedar for trees, and a piece of looking-glass fringed with moss for a lakelet, etc. Bunches of ivy berries for the tree can be variously covered by first dipping them into a hot but weak solution of starch, and then into blue, red, or yellow powder, or into powdered bronze. Mottos for the tree around it can be made of white cotton wool. The letters are cut out of card paper, to which the wool was glued. When dry, pull the wool so as to give it a puffy, snowy appearance. Trim the letters carefully afterward and fasten them on a dark background. Letters decorated with rice have the effect of carved ivory. Cut out the letters on cartridge paper, cover them with a thick coating of paste or glue, and while yet warm, drop the grains of rice into it. The grains can also be made to resemble coral by dipping them into red sealing wax dissolved in alcohol. Letters covered with crumpled tin foil have a good effect and resemble frosted silver, or they can be made of holly and have a rich, cord-like appearance. The leaves are strung with the needle upon twine of the proper length, passing the needle through the center of each leaf. December 23, 1954. The San Maurice Valley Chronicle, Quebec, Canada. Christmas cracker, UK origin. Christmas crackers originated in Britain some 70 years ago. The idea was brought back from a continental holiday by Tom Smith, a confectioner and maker of wedding cake ornaments. Tom saw a French confectioner make his candies more attractive by wrapping them in tissue paper. That Christmas, he wrapped his sugared almonds in this way. Later, to make the packages more entertaining, he included a loving message in each wrapping, and so began the present-day cracker. Once upon a time in Ireland, the wren was hunted and killed on Christmas morning. A branch of holly and bright ribbons were attached to his body, which was carried from house to house by wren boys, who sang songs and expected to receive a dole from each household. The use of stocking as receptacles for gifts from Santa Claus can be traced to only one old legend. The story goes that the jovial little driver of the reindeer dropped some gold coins down a chimney one night. Normally, they would have fallen on the hearth, but instead, the money went into a stocking which had been left by the fireside to dry. Ever since that time, old Santa Claus has been expected to fill any and all stockings he finds when he makes his nocturnal call. In some parts of Europe, stockings are hung on St. Andrew's Day, November 30, or for St. Befana, Teufel Epiphany. In certain sections of France and Germany, the wooden shoes are put out to be filled instead of the stockings. December 23, 1954. The San Maurice Valley Chronicle, Quebec, Canada. Hanging of Christmas hoop, old custom in French homes. In some French homes, it is the custom to have a Christmas hoop made of evergreen branches, bent into a circle. Apples, nuts, colored eggshells are tied to the hoop, which is hung from the ceiling of a room, often the kitchen. The contents of the eggs are blown out of the shell through small openings in the ends, which leaves the shell almost whole. In Old Provence, the land of the farandole and sunburnt mirth, Christmas is always a gay festival, the inhabitants mingling piety and laughter with admirable simplicity. There are many quaint and interesting ways of celebrating the festival, some of them dating back beyond the Middle Ages. On Christmas Eve, homes of the villagers and shepherds present a festival array centered about the open fireplace on the mantel, of which is a tiny crèche flanked by candles and containing tiny clay figures representing those who are in the Bethlehem stable at the time of Christ's birth.